Roll dice, be nice, and stay tuned. This is the Live to Die podcast.
This is one of the very first times that I called for a bullshit at the top in advance and asked some of you all to do homework. So before I kick directly in, I'm curious, how many of you, before I asked, had heard of or thought much about or knew what, when I said Appendix N was? What did you know it to be, or what did you know about before that?
I don't think I knew it was called Appendix N.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me neither. But
it's something that I had seen in the book. Like it, didn't think, where is this in the book? But I definitely have seen those pages in RPG books where it's like, this is all the stuff that inspired us.
Mine would be nothing.
Wow.
Ryan, did you have much of a familiarity with Appendix N?
I think just
that?
like Jason, I knew that most games have like a check this out. Like when you're playing Cyberpunk Red, there's like a list of this are the books that inspired us when you're playing Delta Green. And so I assumed that there was one for the OSR and the old school AD&D.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was called Appendix N.
So I'm just gonna steal here directly as a preface. So this is from Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is one of the OSR games I'm a fan of, and they wrote in here in the back about it. In the 1979 publication of AD&D DMG, the last entry before the last entry before the glossary is something titled Appendix N, in which Gary Gygax lists the fantasy and sci-fi novels that inspired their work on the game. This oft-ignored bibliography has received renewed attention in recent years. It is, in fact, one of the foundations on which fantasy role-playing was built. Reading the books referenced by Gygax, one understands the three important facts. First, that D&D was not spawned from the imagination wholly formed, but it was, in fact, an incremental iteration of literary mechanisms, one more step in a march begun by Burroughs, Vance, Howards, and others many decades prior. An important step, true, but nevertheless evolution. Second, that many of the conventions of D&D are not, in fact, unique, but share a clear and cognate ancestry with the books named in Appendix N. And the resulting game of D&D can easily be seen not as a brilliant creation, but as a brilliant integration of the best fantasy conventions from a wide variety of sources. If you read the books in Appendix N, you feel the mental click as you understand why some parts of D&D is the way it is. Spells, classes, race, and other combat mechanics, you can start to click them together. Third, and finally, that the type of fantastical adventure espoused in D&D, the spirit of the game, which many modern nostalgic gamers strive to evoke, is not achieved via specific game rules, but rather by any rules and any style of play that allows one to simulate the adventures of these classic fantasy heroes. Your game can accurately accommodate the adventures of doomed Elric, grim Conan, clever Cudgel, spontaneous Harold Shee, the merry Fafhrd and Grey Mouser, daring Hawkmoon. Your game can do that regardless of rules. You've achieved what these people have set out to do.
Nice.
Anyway, it's kind of a cool list, and it's also worth noting that Gygax is not infallible. As a matter of fact, one of my favorite old school games is Old School Essentials, and I always joke with my friends that Old School Essentials is essentially the rules of AD&D, but with all the sexism and racism stripped out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To which a friend of mine accurately said, which is a moderate amount of editing work to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I think it's a cool thing to go back and look at what are some of the inspirational sources. I thought I'd share with all of you a couple that were named, and keep in mind, this is a list written in 1979, so there are some gaps, and there's a lot of modern things that I think would qualify. There's also some lack of diversity and representation in this list, but some quick ones on here would be Paul Anderson, John Bellers, Leigh Brackett, Frederick Brown, Edgar Rice Burroughs, which, it basically calls out the Mars series, like John Carter of Mars, for those who saw that sort of failed film. Edgar Rice Burroughs also did Tarzan. And he has some problematic things as an author, but those are some classic pulps. Lynn Carter, L. Sprague de Camp, August Derleth, Lord Dunsey, P.J. Farmer, Gardner Fox, Robert E. Howard, who wrote Conan, is a big one on there. Sterling Lanier. Fritz Lieber is another really fun one. Fritz Lieber wrote Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser, which is sort of the next step post Conan and evolving sword and sorcery fantasy. Conan's really cool, but if you read Conan, it's almost hard to read. The characters have no depth. It's almost like reading a description of a bad comic.
Yep.
Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser was Fritz Lieber was the first one to start to give those archetypes of really sword and sorcery characters. not a lot by modern standards, but like more personality and like 1.5 depth of dimensional characters. And I do highly recommend if you want to read some classic sword and sorcery, don't read Conan unless you're doing it as like a history assignment, basically. Read Fafhrd the Grey Mouser. They're actually more fun. And having two primary characters just makes a better dynamic. Other big ones on here, Lovecraft is mentioned. Lots of problematic issues there, but he's a classic. Michael Moorcock is a really popular one, if that name sounds familiar.
He sure does.
He wrote I think Elric was his series, which is a pretty famous like early fantasy anti-hero. Andre Norton, Jack Vance, who wrote the Dying Earth sort of series. If you ever hear spellcasting in D&D called Vancian spellcasting, it's Jack Vance for whom it's named.
Cool.
And if I remember correctly, the weird Vancian spellcasting thing is that like each morning a wizard like traps in their head some part of a connection with the demon that is a spell, and upon casting it, a part of that pact is like forgetting it, which is why they can't cast it again because it has vanished as a part of their weird thing. A couple others. Roger Zelazny is named in there twice, so I know Jane and I have talked a lot about with the Chronicles of Amber. But what I'd asked all of you folks to do is, if you think about, for you, what is your appendix in when you interact with fantasy? Like what has influenced the way that you think about making characters or rules?
Is that like college level bibliography, your list?
That's her notes.
No, that's my notes for the session.
I was like,
I didn't write enough.
And so, like, obviously we're not making our own game, but I think the thing that's fun about a role-playing game is we definitely leave our prints on the game and we change it with the characters we make and how we interact with it. And it's always fun for me to say, like, do you have books that you think if you were to list them and I were to then read them and then think about the experiences I've had at you at the table, I'd be like, oh, I can kind of see how reading this influenced this part of Jason's characters or this or that. What would be some highlights off of your... And of course, like that's also 1979, so that's pretty much just books. A lot of contemporary lists like this often include music and movies and video games. What are some highlights from you all? What are some things that inform how you participate in creating fantasy stories?
I think one of the big ones is just like the group stuff.
Yeah.
And like how other groups go on adventures.
Okay.
So things like Percy Jackson, even Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Ooh, okay.
The Dark Prophet Saga, which is the Orconomics book. Those just like help with inner party. They go into inner party dynamics. And that's one of my favorite things about the game is how all the characters relate to each other. So that influences me a lot. Character ideas, though, like I'll go with Drosharis. There was a lot of fighter stuff. Bronn from Game of Thrones, Daredevil.
Yeah.
King Arthur, Legend and the Sword. The fact that he doesn't wear armor, he just fights with a sword. Dragon Slayer, the old movie Dragon Slayer, if you guys haven't seen it.
I don't know that.
Oh, shit. Emperor Palpatine's in it.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
As Emperor Palpatine's a
Emperor
crossover?
I think it's like his origin story. Yeah, The Green Knight.
Okay.
But I also had like some video games and like other stuff.
And what I'll say is, I've asked those who've wanted to, who've written it down, that like I think I may post some stuff on the Patreon of like people's lists if you want to write it. And it may be another one of those. We need to honestly just actually start recording our talkbacks. This would be a great another talkback to start
For
exploring Appendix N.
Gaming
us.
conventions and seeing how other people play.
That's a great
Like how
list.
Vicky puts her name tag in front of her character. So when we played our thing, we all had our names in front of us, and that was like something I took from her. I think Warhammer 40K is my love for minis came from.
Okay.
Because there was just a million of them. I also am a huge fan of the Paizo lore to help me play. Because it's getting to know the world that you're in. Video games, Zelda, Skyrim, Assassin's Creed, Fable, and Secret of Mana.
Skyrim is so fucking good.
It's really good.
Secret of Mana, that's a throwback.
Secret of Mana is so good.
Yeah, it's a good.
Yeah, Super Nintendo game that I actually just replayed.
Nice.
Recently, liked it just as much.
It was funny because like, I never would have thought of it, but you calling out Hitchhikers. What was your other one talking about group dynamics? Hitchhikers, Dark Prophecy, or whatever. You listed a third one. But like that's genius because I just reread Hitchhikers last year, Percy Jackson. We're like I think that's such a good call because like sure in world building that's one thing, but like for players, books that are about groups of people more than about single people. Because I was listening to an
Clash
episode.
of the Titans is another one that I wrote for groups of people.
Hell yeah,
both of them honestly. The first one's better, but the remakes are okay. They're fun to watch.
That's such a cool thing to think about. Though. Like what are group stories and how do you make a character? Because like you're right. There aren't singular main characters in Hitchhikers. Like, if anything, the main character of Hitchhiker is probably one of the like worst characters in the book.
Yeah.
But like Zaphod, you're like, fuck yeah, let's go, dude.
Yeah.
Zaphod Beeblebrox is my favorite character. Maybe of all
He's so
characters.
good.
He's so good.
Yeah. And Sam Rockwell was like born to play that too.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
movie is so good.
Other folks, what's some Appendix N stuff that influences how you participate in fantasy?
Yeah, I'll go. Well, along the lines of like the group party dynamics, I played like every Final Fantasy game growing up.
Yeah, I was going to
Those
say
are huge for me.
Those two.
Final Fantasy Tactics is still one of my favorite, and that's like very much like customizable party.
Yeah.
Like level your, put them into different classes, level them up in those classes, switch it up. I put like just like Greek mythology and Roman mythology as just kind of like baseline, like probably things that like got me into that fantasy-ish genre.
Sure.
Definitely
Generally.
the gods part. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the deities and just how they all have their own domains and that sort of thing.
And they each have their own shittiness.
Yeah, all the
that
drama
too.
between them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the drama. Then for like book series, I read a lot of Terry Brooks, which is Sword of Shannara.
Yeah.
Like I'm like probably like a decade and a half behind on fantasy books, to be honest.
I
But
mean, Sword of Shannara is also like minor Sword of Shannara spoilers, but one of my favorite things about it is you realize it has a very interesting way in which it world builds its fantasy world.
Yeah,
and
it's true.
so fucking cool. That's all I'll say.
And it's always like a group dynamic too. It's always like
Yeah.
one, but it is more like one main character and then, like the surrounding characters. But there's always like some sort of like this person fills this role, this person fills the other role. Ari Salvatore read a lot of those Forgotten Realms.
yeah,
Those
the
are on
Legend
my-
of
the
Dritz.
Dritz.
Yeah, the
man.
Dritz
Fritz
games
is on my list.
or
Yeah.
books. Brian Jacques, who's
Dude, I was going to say
Redwall.
Redwall. Yeah.
Yes.
yep, I read those a ton in like
Yeah.
middle school, even into high school and stuff. I haven't read one for a long
Honestly,
time.
I want to
but-
go back and read all of
Yeah,
them now.
I would definitely read them again.
Yeah.
Kind of that same like just like the world building, the good versus evil.
Real, like, I also love their sense of adventure, like the way they talked
Yeah.
about like nature and food. Like it felt, oh, damn, that's a good hit.
Yeah, food was always a good one. They always made the food sound so delicious.
Uh-huh.
And then the last one I put was Raymond Feist, I think is how you say it.
Okay.
Yep. Wizard's
Um,
Apprentice.
Yeah, Wizard's Apprentice with or Magician Apprentice.
Magician Apprentice.
Magician Master.
And then Magician Master. Those are
it's
the only
the-
two that I read.
It's called what's it called? The Rift War Saga, I think.
That's awesome.
There's a bunch of them in that one too. So I read a lot of those. I'd say were like my like middle school, high school fantasy reads that
That's awesome.
kind of filled in the blanks for me.
Oh, 13th Warrior. That was one that I forgot to
Oh, yeah,
mention.
13th
that's
Warrior
good.
is referenced a lot.
Kingmaker.
Yep.
Yeah,
I really inspired by Kingmaker from that movie.
That's one based off of Eaters of the Dead, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Which is just a retelling of Beowulf.
Beowulf, yeah.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, I read an interesting forward to that years ago, which is because that's Crichton who wrote Eaters of the Dead, I think.
maybe.
I think I think it's Michael Crichton who wrote Eaters of the Dead. And if I remember correctly, it was written on a bet / a dare
It is Michael Crichton.
because he was meeting with a friend of his who had to teach Beowulf in college. I can't remember if it was in English or literature or what it was. But the backstory goes, as I remember reading the foreword, that his buddy was like, ugh, I have to teach Beowulf. I'm like dreading it because it's a valuable story, but it's like such a boring read. And Crichton's like, I bet I could make it interesting. And so he wrote Eaters of the Dead as a like, how could I try to use modern language to tell the story of Beowulf?
Hmm.
Anyway.
Oh, wow.
He was giving a lecture on the bores of literature.
Huh.
Boring, which is
Including-
Beowulf.
Yeah.
His lecture was an argument on Beowulf and why it was simply uninteresting.
Mhm.
He opened that story was not a bore, but was in fact a very interesting work. The argument escalated until Crichton stated that he would prove him that the story could be interesting if he presented it in the correct way.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that's Eaters of the Dead, 13th Warrior.
Oh, nice. I might
Yeah.
go check that out. I grew up in an incredibly religious household. So
Yeah, you
this-
mentioned that, I
Same.
think.
we really only had the Bible and Bible stories in my house.
I mean, that's pretty
Okay.
metal.
Sure,
The
sure.
Old Testament
Yeah, super
shit.
metal. But
Is
I
this
think
why
one
Jonas
of
keeps turning water into wine?
the yeah, maybe. But one of the things that from a very early age, I was like, I don't get this. Can you
Mhm.
answer me this question about X, or can you tell me the answer to Y? And it's always like, oh, have faith and blah 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 blah.
Yeah, don't
The
ask
Bible is a
questions.
very very low level or a low bar for verisimilitude.
Okay.
And so I really, really liked stories growing up. Jurassic Park, Timeline.
Yeah.
that
Or
had-
two more Michael Crichton.
Sure,
not
which is two more
mentioned.
Michael
Right,
Crichton books.
right. Sphere
Which
of
or
Michael Crichton's
Sphere,
really
yeah.
good.
which are based even if just loosely in some sort of science fiction or like Interstellar, where it's like, I remember so I know I'm pointing at Jason, like Interstellar.
What's that?
Yeah, exactly. So when, go ahead.
No, there's another one from Crichton that's like
Airframe. I read this last
Airframe's
year.
good.
I
They
just
have
read
to
the
go
last
into
year.
movie, right?
They have to like go into a computer database in like as virtual selves or something. That was a really good one.
I'm not sure.
I'll have to look up what that is.
Did Sphere get made into a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
People.
Yeah, there were people in it.
Them people.
Not Richard. Anyways, I can like see the anyways, we're moving on.
Yeah.
So one of the things like with Jurassic Park or with Timeline or even Dritz and stories like that, like even though, and this is one of my things that I really don't like on Reddit, when people are like, hey, would it make sense to do this? You're like, it's fantasy world. You could do whatever you want, which is true. But for me, I also want it to make sense. So it's like, why did I take this level 1 feat, and how does that attach to my backstory? So then when I think of media, especially in the last 20 or 30 years, like shows like Lost, that's heavily character based.
Yes, it is.
Where the characters are all making these shocking decisions, but then you see their flashbacks and you're like, I totally understand why they're making those decisions. And so like the human part,
That's so perfect.
the human part of it, because we're all humans playing a fantasy game, despite us playing birds or whatever, there's still like, it's still us. And so I really,
Or werewolves.
Or minnie-wolves, soon to be. So I really like my fantasy to also make sense.
Do you have some that you remember spoke to you a lot when you read them and that were formative for you in discovering fantasy that clicked?
Oh man, no, I mean, Jurassic Park and Timeline were like kind of like that. Books that I read now. Yeah. Like I recently read, like I think Orconomics, I think is like incredibly feeds into like making sense.
Sure.
Like here are the downfalls with the system that you're promoting.
Yeah.
And I think that that's really cool when people can find those ways and kind of poke the holes in it and then create new stories to fill in those holes or those answerless spaces. So I think that's really big for me. So it's not so much like a list, even though I have one, but it's more of like a vibe. Like, how can I make Jonas? What would he take at level 6? And why would him and Arthur like be, this friendship and so on? And what would feed into that? And backstory wise, why would that make sense? I really like to be able to draw that through line, even if you can't readily see it from scene to scene. Like when it's like, oh, let's kick back to this. And like, that makes perfect sense.
I think it's probably related to you're seeking a graduate degree in creative writing, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So like the best
probably
thing
just
about,
as good as a master's in journalism.
No, because at least you get to practice writing more.
Yeah, for
sure.
Yeah, it's actually useful. That like what makes a good story good, in my opinion, is character development.
Yeah.
That like your character should change
Yeah.
as a story progresses, right? Because what happens to them should change them as a person.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally. I'm the same way with like when I level up, I want to use something that is like a reaction to what has happened over the past to them.
So Trent, what do you got on your list? Just some highlights.
So definitely Redwall, I was going to say, very influential on me as a kid, and Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and even like the stories around King Arthur.
Yeah, I had that on my list
The
too.
Matter of Britain, as it were.
Yeah. I would say like Mass Effect.
Oh,
yes.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's good.
Yeah,
like,
I had a bunch of games on my list.
Yeah, character driven, and like you have to make tough choices in every single one, and you have to just know that you did what you had to do. It's hard to for me to think beyond that, but like The Expanse, obviously. I haven't read the books, but like the TV show even is
so
good for like character driven and
so
party
good.
driven.
That's a great hit on like party dynamics. The crew of the Rosinante is great.
Yeah.
Remember the can't.
Yeah, don't forget it.
Wait, what? No, sorry.
For me, one of the things is, can I mention other podcasts?
Sure.
I had them on my list.
Yeah, they're on my list too.
So we've listened. We're all listeners of the original Glass Cannon podcast.
It's the meetup we were at when we met.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that paired with myself playing Pathfinder at the time really led me to like, how do I want to develop a character and not just like, okay, I like slash a sword or cast a spell and that's it. That's the whole to the game. And so leaning on that to really learn how to build out a character that is doing things outside of combat and is making interesting choices,
Even if it kills them.
even if it kills them.
Yeah.
Especially when it kills them.
Yeah.
Like Jason said, also piezo material I find is really interesting. Like you just hit on something and you're like, I want to make a character
Yeah.
related to this thing because it's so interesting.
Mhm.
There's a ton of that there.
Yeah, their timelines are great sometimes.
Yep.
I also just love interesting characters that make choices I wouldn't necessarily make. So I really like the BoJack Horseman show and
Oh, it's
Tuca
so
and
good.
Birdie.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
BoJack
still haven't
Horseman.
watched these, and you keep recommending.
They're
I know.
so good.
BoJack Horseman, especially, they're like Princess Carolyn and Diane both make a lot of choices that I'm like, I don't know if I would have done that, or like I don't really understand why they do it.
Also, talk
And-
about like character development. And that
Yes.
show is phenomenal.
Yes, and so it's those are shows like I go back to constantly, and like I'm always in some stage of rewatching them and thinking about like, why is this character so interesting to me? What do I like that they do? What do I not like? And then kind of in game related, way back a decade ago, I think this game came out, The Wolf Among Us. That it was
I
a
think I know.
Telltale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Based on the Fable books.
Yes, based on the Fable
Yeah.
comics. And it was the first game that like a lot of games, you're kind of playing like a self-insert or you're like not really making choices. But The Wolf Among Us was very like, you are playing Bigsby and you can make choices for him, but he's still his own character.
Yeah.
And it was this like weird thing for me of like, I'm not just being myself, I'm trying to be him. And like, what would he do? And like, how do I want him to act? Because you can kind of go like, oh, the good ending or the bad ending, which is
He's also the sheriff.
yes,
cool.
Sheriff Bigsby. And so it's very, it was interesting. That was the first time in a video game where I thought, oh, like I'm not me, I'm being this other person.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do I be this other person to like true to themselves? That was a big thing. Also, like I've mentioned before, Robin Hobb's many series. I really love. I'm rereading them all now. I haven't gotten back to it, but one of the series is the Rainwild Chronicles, and it's very dragon focused. And one of my favorite things, like dragons are everywhere in fantasy, obviously, but her dragons, you get this one. She is very like proud, but like to a self-destructive level because these dragons, it's like all new. Nobody knows how dragons work. They all hatch and they can't fly. And everyone's like, what the hell's going on? Like it's dragons. They should be able to fly. And this like disabled, like intellectually disabled dragon who like her egg got hurt. She hatches. And so all the other dragons look really down on her. But every day she like spreads her wings out so they get sun. And then she starts like jumping and flapping her wings and everyone's looking at her and they're like, what an idiot dragon. She is so stupid. And then she starts to be able to fly because she was like just trying and no one else was trying. Everyone else was like, we're injured. We can't do this. We're lower than low dragons.
That's cool.
That's cool.
That is
And
cool.
so, yeah, it's just like, I love interesting like character flaws to like your detriment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm surprised with the way you've been playing recently, Trent. You didn't mention Fourth Wing.
I still have no concept of what it is. I did
But you
forget
know
to
the one
mention-
part is in it.
I-
The boning.
I've heard that there's boning in it. That's about as far as it goes. I forgot to mention Game of Thrones, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. It's a
Harry
big hit.
Potter.
Sure.
Okay.
And
Much as I despise
Yeah.
everything Harry Potter related now, but
yeah, totally.
yeah,
I'm the
read
same
it as a
way.
kid.
I just desperately wish Harry Potter people would read other books.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And then its author would shut up.
Yes.
That too.
Oh yeah.
Another woman you're trying to silence.
Wow. That was really good.
now
I think
speaking
that
of
deserves
silencing
two
women.
dashes. Yeah.
That's where we are in the story.
I'll do just a quick couple because we
Yeah.
spent a lot of time on this. For me, there's kind of a few big influences. My grandfather, who I've mentioned a few times, was like a big story influence, loved old monster movies. And so I love like monsters. I think monsters in storytelling, especially like adventures, I think a cool monster, like a centerpiece monster is one of my favorite things. He also got me a lot into radio dramas and the pulps, whether it was Edgar Rice Burroughs, he'd read parts of Tarzan to me, or I still have, like, one of my favorite things is he left me when he died, a bunch of old radio cassette recordings of The Shadow. So I love the structure of like pulps on And a lot of how when I started playing around with how to do a cliffhanger at the end of an episode, it reminded me a lot of what I liked about the breaks for ads in old radio dramas. Like, they're basically all artificially engineered. You're just like, and so go to the next room. Right before you open that door, let's tell you about blue flame coal. Remember, blue flame coal burns brighter and hotter than other coals. And we take, and remember, every cent you spend is a cent you spend supporting our boys abroad. Support the war effort and buy blue flame, whatever.
It reminds me of the Star Wars. There was a Star Wars
Star Wars too,
made for TV thing where I want to say it was in Mexico.
Oh yeah, where they splice it in.
Something.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah.
So they open up the thing where his lightsaber's supposed to be. It's like Cerveza Crystal. It's fucking hilarious.
So I draw a lot of because I always talk about how some of the biggest mistakes I made when I started running D&D campaigns is that I tried to make them too much like books or stories. And what I found is that my most fun games are when I try to give them about as much plot depth as like a bad comic or like an old radio drama, because the fun is the other people at the table interacting with it. That's where the story grows. If I build such a big story that there's not enough room for the players, it's less fun. And for me, I feel like the old pulps did that wonderfully. So I always loved that. Early fantasy for me was actually the Chronicles of Amber. It has some of that sort of sword and sorcery vibes, but Zelazny brought a lot of really humanist elements and almost like philosophical elements in. And the last thing I'll say is I'm definitely a big fan of what I've heard people call like old man fantasy. So give me the Black Company, give me like Malazan Fallen or like Dune. Like I want big fucking oppressive systems and wars and governments. And I want it to be about people that are just being under all of that shit. Or like Book of the New Sun. I will want a final shout out. One that was a huge change for me in the way I viewed fantasy was I finally read as an adult Ursula K. Le Guin's A Wizard of Earthsea.
Oh, cool.
Which I was way behind on reading. Like that's a kid's book and it's great. And she wrote such a cool fantasy world that didn't feel European. It felt like Mediterranean or like sort of like oceanic and coastal. And it was like, oh, here's some dope ass fucking fantasy where like it should feel more alive closer to water and more scary and farther away. And it totally changed the way that I looked at
That's cool.
How I would want fantasy lands to feel. It also made Absalom make a lot more sense of like, oh, of course, Mega New York's right in the middle of the Mediterranean analog, the most culturally interactive, the trading part of the world anyway.
I thought you were going to say China Mayville.
Mayville was what got me back into fantasy.
I'm surprised you didn't, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have to shout it out. I got out of fantasy for a long time, and what brought me back in was Perdido Street Station.
Yeah.
And speaking of like verisimilitude, that's like a whole book. This whole thing is talking about like the consequences of government and actions and the interactions of the people. And there's a great opening line to a review of a China Mayville book written by this author who said, you can always tell the communist fantasy authors from the non-ones because they get the ratio of peasants to ruling class right.
Yeah, I love it.
Anyway, speaking of getting ratios of numbers right, there's sort of a lot of wargs surrounding you out here. Thank you all for bearing with us on a fucking half-hour opening. We're going to take this episode long. Not crazy long, but in response.
You should also just send us your list.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would love that.
Please, we're on Bluesky finally. I'll put it in the notes. Let us know what's appendix in literature and fiction.
Email the
for
shit
you.
out of Ryan.
Email me.
Yeah, Ryan, the Live to Die mail guy.
Live to Die mail guy.
What's the email again?
Live to Die.
Live to Die podcast at gmail.com.
At gmail.com.
It's in the show notes.
The mail guy would know.
Show notes. Yeah, check the show notes.
Yeah, check the. Hold on, let me check the email real quick.
It is. So, you all heard this voice rumbling. You saw the 6 wargs surrounding you, and then something much larger than them was lurking in the forest talking to you. You couldn't quite see what it was until it slowly stalked its way out after asking if you all hunted things like it or only went for larger game. Now, I was really stoked to get the sort of dramatic music back up, but I actually have to stop it because you know what time it is, folks?
Yes.
Description.
Oh.
So this is the size of a... This is, I think, bigger than a Clivesdale. Talk to me about what you see.
It's like a
feet.
snow wolf.
Wink.
Whoa. It's like a big white wolf.
Cutest
real
little
big.
puppy
It's like
ever
white
did see.
and blue almost.
Yeah.
It's got
like,
blue,
Yeah,
like
blue eyes.
glowing blue eyes
Yeah.
and like blue nails.
Those
fucking enormous claws.
enormous claws,
huge.
electric blue,
Also,
frosty breath.
Yeah, I was going to say
Ice.
frosty
Yeah.
breath.
Some
Ice
kind of ice
breath.
wolf if
Yep.
I've ever seen
Yeah.
one, for sure.
He's like the warg from Neverending Story, except white.
A nice big fluffy
Kinda,
tail.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like a husky, but all like white and gray.
It looks like
And
Nymeria
scary.
from the Game of Thrones,
Oh, yeah,
like
yeah.
that color.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
yeah.
The proportions are a little different. Like you notice, it almost has a little bit of a horse proportions in the chest and arms. Like its torso is huge.
Yeah.
Its
Yeah.
front legs and paws are like, I don't want any of this.
Yeah, those
yeah,
claws.
I don't want to take a swipe
It's
from
like
that.
its hair is standing up on its back.
If that thing doesn't rend, I'll be surprised.
That claw to foot
Yeah.
ratio is like 50%.
Yeah, and like you notice, interesting. Its front legs are way longer and bigger than
Yep.
its back legs,
Like
Can
a
he
German
stand up?
shepherd.
Yeah.
potentially.
I
What I'll
would-
say is,
I would like to boop it.
Are we going to fight this guy?
I,
Gonna-
wanna
I hope
boop those
not.
gremlin dogs.
anyone want to give me a quick recall nature check? I'll let
Don't
you
mind
roll
if I
it.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you roll it. I'm feeling nice.
28.
Ooh,
Not good for Jonas.
Not
20.
good. 19.
8. Okay. Jonas, not you, but
Not me.
sorry, Nikolai. You know that this is something called a witch warg.
What?
Now, here's what I'll say behind the screen. Pre-master, these would have been a winter wolf, if you remember the
Yeah,
old,
yeah.
old,
That's
old
what I
head
wondered.
D&D players.
Mhm.
But that's one of those that, like, it honestly, one, isn't a super descriptive name. Well, it is of, like, one thing. And I think they were just trying to help flesh out Galarian stuff more. So they're called witch wargs. I think I have a touch of info for you, Jason, on kind of what you might know.
You have a touch of cone of
I
cold.
totally forgot about this,
yeah,
but my
that's
owlbear
exactly
is sitting
what I
next
know.
to me.
Oh, yeah, your owlbear's with
I have
you.
an owlbear.
So witch wargs are related to wargs. They're larger, smarter, far more dangerous. They do have some sort of frost breath. And yeah, they it's a sort of evolution of a warg, which is often have a lot of like cultural connections with goblins and hobgoblins. But this thing is much bigger, much stronger, somewhat magically infused. Yeah. For context, size large. You know what? I'll give you a little behind the screen just for fun. Its strength is a +6.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
I'm
Can
not
you
gonna
tell us
lie.
the rest of his stats?
Yeah, sure. Its AC is 400.
Oh, wow. That's
Damn.
Damn.
Wouldn't surprise
slightly
me.
higher
Let's
than
not
I
fight
expected.
this one.
Mhm.
If it would feel very fucked up to like hunt something that is conscious. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
That
like intelligent. Yeah.
The,
The
most
most
dangerous game.
the most dangerous game.
Jason, get over here.
That like no, that just seems like that's fucked up. I wouldn't want to do that.
Not unless it was like threatening people
Yeah, right,
or
right,
something.
Right.
And
Or
And it
us.
seems concerned that we're threatening.
yeah, like we didn't come
Yeah.
here to hunt any wargs or anything.
Is there like some
What was his name?
logs?
He hasn't introduced himself.
Okay.
So he just basically said,
Do you only hunt the larger monsters? Or do you come seeking the blood of my kind as well?
Well, actually,
and I'll
I'm
just
sorry.
say yes.
Yeah. What's your name?
Share with me yours, and I shall give
my name
you
is
mine.
Jonas. This is Baron Nikolai Medved from Shatter Shield, just to the east of here.
wow, giving
West.
his
And,
name,
yeah.
location. Do you want to throw the social in there?
Sure.
Oh, I mean, I was going to give it to him.
37048. His mother's maiden name is Shabatsky. We're
She's
actually
Polish.
looking for something lupine, not lupine. If that makes sense.
Mm.
A lord doth deign us with his presence.
My name is.
Yeah,
Arthur.
this is Arthur, and this is Red, and this is Laku.
Laku.
And I give him the glad hand.
This is Echo, and I point to my baby
Give
owlbear.
me a diplomacy check. This is an indifferent creature is currently indifferent to you. Oh.
If you need more patches,
I mean,
Yeah,
Ryan's
just
got a
halfway.
Someone
power.
aid.
Just let me know.
I'm gonna
Someone wanna
take
aid?
24. I rolled a 9 twice in a
Oh.
row. These patches are killing me.
Is
to say
that with your diplomat's badge?
Yeah.
Nice.
And
You want
did-
to roll it again?
15.
She just tossed a patch.
Did someone
in.
say they
Oh
were
no, no,
able?
that was
Oh,
his. That was
actually-
his
Oh, that was
patch.
his.
But
I'm
I'll
going
toss one in.
to do this as well.
Oh.
I'm going to activate with one action. I'm going to Diplomat's Bearing. Once per day, attempt a DC 20 check to recall knowledge about people or of a human disregard. That's for somebody else. Sorry, wolves.
Okay.
What does bring such folk here?
There is a group leading a hunting party for the 3 monsters I've mentioned before. However, since we've been here, it does
Interesting.
feel a bit like maybe we are in the middle of a trap.
Do you know anything of the flowers? We saw a bear and an elk that had flowers growing out of them, which
Something-
we weren't originally here for, but now I'm interested.
And I believe a xenomorph came out of one.
Yep. And we'd like to finish Alien today.
Yes. Have you ever heard of Alien?
Echo, interesting.
All right, now you've affected its disposition. What you're essentially asking now needs to be a request coercion. You need to gain cooperation. This would be a request check, another diplomacy.
Has it like stepped
Please don't
forward so
murder
I can
us.
see it?
Yeah, it's come out into the sunlight, and like I said, it's huge. It is size large. Someone want to make a diplomacy check specifically to request this information. He also will let you know.
I am called Glazulin.
Glazulin?
27.
I thought you said I'm cold, and I'm like, yeah,
I'm
obvious.
cold. When I breathe, I freeze.
What you speak of, I may have seen something of it. Several days ago, my pack, we watched an elk across the river. We stalked it for a day, separated as it was from the larger group, thinking it to be easy prey. One night as we saw it, it stumbled. I feared it might be sick. I watched as its body writhed, and from it exploded vines and plants growing out at a speed unlike which I have ever seen. I then watched as from its body twitching slithered out a snake with 5 hands, slowly eating its way from the body, covered in the gore of the creature, dragging the corpse behind it as it worked its way to the west.
Did you just say that a 5-headed snake burst forth from the elk?
Yes,
Is the
I think I
five-headed
heard that.
snake? We just killed a giant hydra.
Was it red and green?
It couldn't possibly be that.
the colors you say. What are these?
Yeah, he's a
like
he's a doggy.
The grass.
He doesn't see color.
And-
He sees in black and white or shades of gray.
I don't know. He's a witch warg. Maybe he's got better eyes.
Yeah.
The size. This was small enough to fit in an elk, but there are strange things about it if you believe me not.
Oh.
Keep an eye out. Look for the bodies.
Was there anything else weird about the elk before it
I mean,
died?
it fucking exploded with a snake in it.
No, before it
That is a
died.
solid point.
Oh, man.
I don't know what this is causing this, or why these monsters that have come. The odd thing is, they aren't claiming the territory, they aren't hunting the food. Yeah, I expected when I started to see the oddities, it would be at the cost of more lives of my pack. But they don't seem to expand their reach.
More lives?
Well, you know, like, shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just mean that they're not like actively attacking you already.
No, which is odd. Normally when a predator of that size enters an area like this, they need a lot to stay alive. There's only so much food. You're left competing.
There's like a group of hunters near here. Have you had interactions with them?
There's actually a few groups.
The hunters we haven't seen. The sisters and the bard guards aren't going to bug him.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean like the
Yeah.
hunting lodge.
Yeah.
I have seen some numbers come, like the ones who passed here, not an hour or two ago to the north.
Mhm.
I have no issue with you and your kind on the other side of the river. But to come to this side is to enter our territory.
Oh, yeah. You are very territorial animals, I suppose.
What did you call me?
Oh, I mean creatures.
Still not better.
I don't know
Anyway,
any other words.
we did not mean to intrude on your territory, and we plan to try to. There's one more large creature, a Kruth, that
Yes.
we plan on killing,
Fine.
and then we will leave.
Nikolai looks at him and is like, "You want to help us?"
I have my own prey to hunt today.
Can I pet you?
Fuck
Oh
no.
my God.
Okay.
Nikolai looks at Arthur and shakes his head like, "No."
You want to keep that hand
I would prefer to. Yeah.
and keep it off us
Okay.
and stay off of our side of the river.
Sure, we will leave
No
you.
Okay.
worries.
Do you have any magic items? I'm just joking.
Nikolai kind of does the like head down as he backs away.
Are you
And then
aware of
turns.
the singing person nearby?
The group to the south of here.
The one eating the cheese.
Mm-hmm.
We will make an example of them first for
Wait.
trespassing.
Okay.
Whoa.
What?
Please don't.
Why?
Let us tell them.
Because they're not going to hurt you
Yes.
or attack your prey. I'm sure there's plenty of other elk and rabbits and field mice that you could hunt.
You seem
I've already-
rational. Let us talk to her first.
Yeah.
If she doesn't leave, then I don't know.
I have given you much grace
You
and
truly
the
have.
knowledge of our experience. Stay out of our business.
You should go south.
Do you
Warner.
have to brush your teeth?
Oh my god.
No.
Fascinating.
Naturally minty fresh breath.
Okay.
Winter
I pull out one of
fresh.
those
Winter
Granny's
fresh.
Thank
dog
you.
chews.
You toss it. Here you go.
You have a good day.
Thank you for your help.
Stay on the north side of the river.
The west side of the river?
That too.
Okay.
If you go to the south, then it's this north-south
Oh,
thing.
right, right. I understand.
Because the bend,
Yeah.
a little away from the confluence.
That's true.
Do you know what a confluence is?
That's a concept that's far beyond me.
Fair enough.
Is there anything we could do for you other than stay clear?
I mean, stay clear and let us go kill those people.
Can we tell them? Look, it's not like they're our friends. But can we go tell them like they're in danger?
Do not interfere.
Okay.
Can I ask one more favor? If you run across two warriors that look identical, can you find out their names?
I'm certain you all look the same to me.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Well, they're humans. I'm obviously.
That's kind of
I
racist.
think I look a little different.
Same.
Yeah, the fucking Minotaur.
Oh,
I don't see
Just
it.
saying.
I got nothing.
I don't see race.
It's very
I don't
for
know.
you.
That's problematic in its own right, but
It's
I'm from a different era.
you should say I don't see ancestry.
Shit. Yeah, it's a remaster thing.
so you're gonna go kill them.
Oh yeah, like
Um,
just rip them up.
Can we just like
What if we give you the tufts but save the woman? She is important in
Interesting.
yeah,
Yes.
that could really just bring you more trouble if you
Oh
kill
my
her.
goodness!
It could also cause
Are
us
they
some
gonna, like-
diplomatic issues.
Right.
are they gonna race ahead of us to go murder her before we can talk?
The only diplomacy that we do is with our teeth and claws.
Well, that's not true. You're doing diplomacy right now.
Wow.
I don't see it that way.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we're gonna save that lady.
Do we gotta? I'm like under my breath. Like, do we need to fight these people?
Like, can we just beat
I
them?
do need you to stage whisper for the mic's sake, though.
Do we need to fight these people?
Nikolai
mean,
turns
wolves?
around and is like,
We're all like talking in a group.
This-
Just one second.
this is a
Sidebar?
wolf,
Yeah.
and he can probably hear you.
I mean,
That's
am I not talking quiet enough?
But I bet he can't read.
Is
and
he-
he pulls out a piece of paper and starts writing on it.
In what language?
Oh, how good are these? This wolf can't see colors. It's not gonna be able to see
I
writing.
write in a red marker.
Yes, a red marker, a red and yellow. I can see the red. I can't see the yellow letters. I can see the red. The red is good. The yellow is the same color as the paper.
Hey, whoa. That is not ADA accessible. The contract is not high enough.
Oh, it's funny.
Do we really have a moral responsibility though to I mean, she's kind of a bad person.
She's
What,
also
she didn't do anything bad.
Well, she's on
I mean,
their
she
side of the river.
insulted me a little bit, which was rude, but
this is the second person we've met that has any connections to Pentex.
yeah.
The first one was it was
Real
not
piece
good.
of shit, I hear.
Tartuccio, he I just went full Spanish there.
He
Tartuccio.
tartushed so many O's.
Wow.
Tartuccio.
Tartuquillo.
He took over
Now I'm hungry.
a kobold shrine or a kobold it was a shrine, right?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh.
Mhm.
And
ish.
basically enslaved the whole tribe.
Mhm.
Pay
but he was
taxes.
paid.
Hey,
by,
whoa. It was just a coup, just a standard
And
CIA
That's
coup.
right.
he blocked
Mhm.
access to all that sweet, sweet silver down in that
He-
cave too.
He,
Sounds awful.
yeah, but he was paid by Pentex, I believe.
Hmm.
But this could be our chance to
I feel like
better
we
our diplomatic ties.
Could we trade with you something in order for us to be allowed to go and tell them that they should leave?
Fine, we'll leave 3 of you here for us to eat.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay.
I see.
Here's a Minotaur that counts as two.
protecting your throne. I see what
I
you're doing.
don't think we want to do that. So we're just going to get on the boat and go.
Sure,
Watch
sure.
you. If we see you, tell them. We will kill you all in your sleep.
Okay.
How? What the hell?
What's your? You said your name is.
Gygax.
It feels weird now that you're asking. Like,
I have a terrible memory.
Glazulin.
Glazed donut.
Glazulin.
God damn it, Jason.
Glazulin.
Yes.
So we're cool, and we're just gonna leave.
Give me like a deception check, because it doesn't seem like you're cool.
What are we gonna
It
do?
doesn't seem like we're cool at all.
Arthur has full intention of just like leaving, and
I have intention of leaving, and I don't know.
like
I don't
guess
know
I
what
want to
to
get on the
do.
boat and figure out what you guys want to do
Joe,
about the
that-
lady.
we did our own diplomacy with them.
Can I do
They
a nature
do
and
their
just be
own,
like,
you know?
I'm cool with you leaving, like living here. We don't want to interfere.
No, that's not a nature.
Okay.
This is diplomacy.
I don't have it.
Or diplomacy or deception. Or I guess intimidation if you're feeling real spicy.
No.
No, I don't want to intimidate this guy.
I am going to cast a spell.
Good
Oh, God.
God.
Okay.
Sorry, friends.
Hey,
Family, Romans, countrymen.
you do what your character would do, you know?
I am going to drop a tree right between the two of us.
Boom.
Ooh.
Tree.
And then
Tree.
be like, I do not like the terms of this deal. And I'm going to roll intimidate, if that's okay.
Oh, that's not
Tree.
Is
Not
it
like
the
we're going to
sapling?
stop you.
Or is it the protector tree?
If I
Nice.
get the notion of what he's doing, can I aid him in intimidation?
Sure, you want to light the sword?
Can we,
Yeah.
for purposes of what he's about to
Okay.
do, put ourselves on the map?
No, we'll do that in a second.
I like it. Here it comes.
I'll like put my
Maybe the
hand against
intimidation
the
will
tree
work.
and then light up the sword, you know?
Red's gonna step in front
31.
of Flaku.
Ooh, intimidation.
Oh my god.
And what are you attempting to intimidate to do?
Was that a good? Oh my god.
Yep. That's a 33.
So that's a +2 then.
A threat to our friends. I mean, sort of friends is
Yeah.
like a sort of threat to us. So I can't abide with that.
You protect your back as I protect mine.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
It
Do you
appears-
propose
I
an
propose.
alternative?
Yes, I do. I propose that we're at an impasse, and we're going to have to deal with that.
I also can point you to 2 carcasses that are plenty big enough to feed all of you. And he pulls out a fucking Hydra steak and like,
Huh.
here's a bit of it, and like,
He looks down.
I question the meat from these blossoming beasts.
That's totally
Oh, wow.
fair.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I like it the way he described that. Mm-hmm.
well, I'm glad I didn't eat it then.
Do you have a proposition of what, you know, aside from leaving people to their deaths?
Yeah.
we don't
What?
really
Like,
want to
could
do
we
that.
just shoot some elk?
No.
Mm-mm.
I didn't mean that.
Whitetail deer? Sure.
Okay.
Sure. I don't-
Moose?
I don't really like meese that much.
I know, but they might.
Meese.
Enough. Go your way. Get your people across the river now.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
You did
now
it.
Nikolai
You
does the
did it.
bow his head back away thing.
And I look at him dead in the eye. I'm leaving this tree here.
I'm gonna piss on it.
Yeah, and then
It's a
somebody
cool
else.
tree.
And like
I'm like-
even as you're walking away, he walks up and just like keeps eye contact.
Oh, he really did.
Is it ice?
High
Does he
flow.
piss ice?
Strong flow.
Strong flow, yeah. He's been holding it.
I've had to go this whole fucking time.
Oh, that's the worst.
All
Yeah.
right, let's go.
Go tell this lady.
Let's go to the lady in the
Okay.
Bard guards.
Get them fucking
Wait,
out.
didn't he just tell us we can't do that?
No,
No,
he
he
said
just
that
said,
you
yeah.
go take
Oh,
care of
okay.
your
Yeah.
people.
The intimidation, I think, worked.
The take care of your pack thing
Hopefully.
was good.
My crossbow's out and loaded. And
And we will not forget this.
Neither will we.
No, we appreciate your, your rationality in this matter.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Oh my god.
He's like, he's already peed, so.
Do you believe or follow a deity? Does a deity bless you?
Might makes right.
Ooh.
Sure. Let's get down to
Pretty,
I'm not
pretty
stoked about
problematic creed.
like
but
you don't know who Baba Yaga is, right?
Oh shit, like,
All of a sudden, his like body language changes.
why, did you?
Did you mention me?
why are you using that name?
Yeah, what the fuck?
No, I just wanted to know if he was like, oh yeah, Lamashtu.
Yeah.
Lamashtu.
Do you
or I'm
know
fucking
where
whatever.
that creature, their whereabouts it actually is?
I've given you enough.
Okay.
Let's go, and I kind of grab your sleeves and like, let's.
Yeah.
Like dragging him away.
Yeah.
Tree costs a lot of spell slots.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
I
demon
mean,
memories you had to forget.
It's all good.
It would have been really good if anything went down.
Mm-hmm.
And now the tree's there forever.
It is.
Oh,
Bye.
Mm-hmm.
The dogs do not. The
Dude,
wargs do
one
not
day when I
respond.
can walk through those trees, I could show up here and talk to this dude too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you head back up to where Anamede's at.
we gotta fucking go.
Oh well, please go.
No. You need
have
to
to
come
leave.
with us.
So
Just
here's
like
the
start
thing.
grabbing the tablecloth and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like pulling it all
Excuse
together.
me.
Yeah.
Oh
Red
no,
too.
you really want to trust us in this? We need to get the fuck out of here
I look
right
at the
now.
toughs and I'm like, I'm not fucking around.
They like their hands reach to their sword. Do you challenge us?
No,
No,
no, my
it's not
God.
us that's challenging
If we
you.
have
It's
to.
not us.
Sure.
This witch wolf across
Which warg?
Witch warg is coming for you, and we had to bargain for your lives.
Which warg was it?
Mm-hmm. First.
That warg. We bargained for your lives. It's here to eat you, and
There was a lot of them.
if
This
you
all
don't,
sounds really dramatic. Perhaps too much.
Oh, you can listen. You can go and stick around here. Maybe go try to talk to him, but you will die. You will absolutely die.
Sure.
I promise you'll be safer just on the other side of the river. You don't
that's
have to
all
go
he
far.
wants. It's for you to take your chase and move across the river.
There's even a shack you could hang out in.
Yeah.
We cleared it out. So.
I'll carry your cheese.
It's a ruined shack, but there's not a huge difference between a ruined shack and a pristine shack.
That's true.
Yeah, this like the shack is inherently like the name in itself.
Mhm,
Doesn't really mean it's
You-
that much, but
Kind of feels like time's being wasted, and he looks at the tough and kind
Yeah.
of,
Look at the sun's
we
like
need
move.
to get the fuck
It's going to be
out
better
of
on the
here.
other side of the river.
Someone give me a check.
of
Intimidation.
what kind?
Your choice. You can either intimidate them over. You could diplome them over. You know.
I'm going to try to aid.
28 on the intimidation.
Oh, never mind.
We need to get the fuck out of here right now, or we're gonna leave you here to be eaten by about 6, 7. How many wolves were there?
Six
Seven.
wargs and
Seven.
a witch
It's
warg.
like 6
Yeah.
wargs and a witch.
And
in
the
a
witch
warg.
warg is a
Yeah.
large sized.
You'll be very
mechanically
cold
large.
while you're being digested.
And how much? What did you roll?
28.
Fine. Guards, quickly this way.
Good. I almost had to pick her up and carry her.
Yeah, I was gonna.
That would not
say.
impress
That
me
would've
the
been
way it
very
would
funny.
the rural Hicks sisters.
I know. I get it. It's just
Wow.
that was what was going to happen. so
Have you
I
ever heard
hate
of the
this
term
lady.
The
catching
brevet.
flies with honey?
The brevish
Hmm.
broads.
Mm-hmm.
Brevish broads.
I like one of them. I just don't know which one.
And you're not going
Oh,
to
you
at
never
this-
told me.
You're not going to now.
We saved your life.
We'll
So
figure
you
it out.
claim-
Just flip a
Technically, This is
coin.
probably the favor.
Desna will help
That
you.
was my best opportunity.
I'll just ask. You want me to just
Hold
ask
up.
him?
We could just leave him here and take her journal.
I don't. That's
Oh
me.
my god.
That's. I mean, it's morally questionable.
But like, you know,
We're
what's
trying
gonna
to
be,
save her life.
Didn't what you did last night was morally questionable?
Like I
And
said,
don't
you
you
know, I
say
don't,
it's
I
They
sound-
were
don't,
loading stuff
It
onto the
sounded
barge.
morally
I don't
questionable,
feel
if you ask
shame or
me.
guilt, so I have no problem asking them. I just, you know, if I could avoid it, I would prefer
I'm
to.
so glad I'm married. Dating is stupid.
All right, you make it down. You dash her to the barge. Yamel comes and picks you up. How did he say? Are you ready to come back? No.
Yes, fast, please.
What
Go.
What did he say?
I
Just
don't know.
I don't know, but we need to go. We need
Okay.
to go. We
All
look
right.
look at him and I'm
you
like,
spoke Galt.
I normally do, but nah, I'm scared.
Oh.
We need to leave.
Hey,
get yourself out
just
of
so
the way.
you guys know, I would not fucking go over there.
Yeah.
Oh,
ever.
did you just take a big shit?
Yes, let's go.
You could say that.
No, I joke. I jest.
No, there is a giant fucking wolf that will kill anyone who approaches.
Except me.
I actually think it still will kill you. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it's odd that you as hunters are running away from a
I
prey.
would
That's not how
not-
I would win that
I
competition.
would not recommend
That's another
your
hunter.
hunting groups going over there.
It is
Sure.
sentient. It's not just a beast.
Yeah.
I mean, does not the best prey know that you are hunting and hunt you back in return?
Okay, can we
You know
move?
what?
You know,
Can we
suddenly,
go?
suddenly
You know what?
you're problematic.
There is a thing that he wanted us to do, and it was to tell you to go hunt him.
I'm at Locke
Well,
who's trying
that-
to like push the barge, and it's like the sand is just moving. Like she's not strong, and so the sand's just like kicking out from under.
Oh, no, of course.
her feet.
Let us go now.
Yeah.
Brings you all back to the island. Animede's like
Oh, I almost
huffy
got
about
it
it,
bad.
but okay.
You can go over to the shack, like we said. I mean, it's
I think I'm fine here. Well, I guess we'll consider this a failure on our part. I suppose I'll just have to stay here. Where is that?
failure. How?
Failure at the what?
No, she's like talking about like her own
Oh.
hunt.
Hunting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you guys are now deposited back on the northern side of the river, back
Yeah.
where you started.
That was
I don't unpack her
Well,
shit off the
That was
barge.
uncomfortable.
She's got bards to do.
Yeah, but just
bar
drop
guards.
the,
Yeah,
drop
bar-
the tablecloth bag like in the
Yeah.
middle thing. It spills all over the place.
The guards took most of it pretty
Okay,
quickly.
I took some cheese.
So where you all
Of
want
course
to go
you
next?
did.
Are you guards or are you butlers?
Should we now follow the river up, like we were initially planning, just on this side?
Yeah.
What's the like turkey cheese or
Goose cheese.
goose cheese?
cheese.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
It's a soft goose cheese that she has.
For our listeners out there, do not Google goose cheese in Urban Dictionary.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
Don't Google anything. Don't search anything in Urban Dictionary.
Don't
Yeah.
look at anything that we say either.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Don't
the
do
whole
it.
time as we're walking up the river, I'm just like, that lady is not very nice.
She's really not.
Just,
I
I didn't
just-
like her.
I'm glad we saved her life. But
She told me she was going to help me, and then she didn't.
I told you, flip a coin, and
That is very
Desna will
dishonest.
guide you.
You know, she's probably not a very happy person. So,
You think, like, deep down inside?
yeah,
just-
I think there's some
Mm.
damage down in there.
Oh, wow.
Notice she was sitting alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
True.
even her guards, she just doesn't talk to them like real people. So,
I mean, deep down inside, I'm kind of a not happy person.
yeah, that's
but-
all right.
That's
we'll work on
everyone, man.
that.
Oh,
The world is hard.
We can talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that tonight around the fire if you want to.
okay.
Is not
Okay.
everyone filled with sorrow and meat?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
When we get just out of eye shot of, I don't know, the clearing or the river,
Throw up
I'll
middle
look back
finger.
to see if the old witch warg is watching us go or anything.
Give me a perception check. Why don't you roll this one?
Like waving to him from the other
Yeah.
side.
Bye.
Hi.
Thumbs up.
We're over here
32.
now.
Dang it.
Oh,
You swear you see some like flash of lighter fur.
Give a nod in its direction and then keep moving.
All right. You work your way up to
A,
the
a
north.
Chuck Norris thumbs up.
Yeah.
We're cool, right?
he can't get across that river.
Let's talk exploration mode. So, I'd like to say what's in your mind, what's in your hand, what's in your head, what's in your hand.
Well, I think as we're walking up here, I'm assuming we're going to run across a giant fucking crocodile creature.
Yeah.
Truth.
Mm.
So I am, I guess, scouting.
Sure. Got your sword out?
I'm not very good
Bow
at
out?
it, though.
Oh,
Sword
Yeah,
out.
Also scouting,
Mhm.
sword out.
okay.
Perceiving.
Are you sword or an axe?
It's a great sword.
Oh, okay. My bad. I thought it was for some reason I thought it was an axe.
It's all right.
It's terrible.
Perceiving with the staff of air.
Okay. And what are you doing? Perceiving? Just
Perceiving.
looking?
crossbow out and just looking for the hunters or signs of. I'm looking for the hunters. Looking around, seeing if because we saw like movement up in this direction, so I feel like they're probably still up here.
And the Glazagul or whatever Glazulan said that there were some people that went north.
Yeah.
I'll do survival.
Yeah, I was
with
going
my-
to say, can I do survival instead?
With bow out.
Looking for tracks
Yeah,
and
and I'll
stuff.
scout.
Cool. All right. So perceiving, keeping and not perceiving,
survival.
and sort of like tracking.
Tracking, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do some checks here. What are your bonuses? What are all your bonuses?
14.
Plus 11 regular, plus 13 if we're taking our time.
Nikolai, you're kind of getting distracted a little bit. Your mind's wandering.
I was going to say, when we were talking about exploration modes, I was going to be like, but Nikolai's not doing well because that wolf really like blew his mind.
Mhm.
Yeah. But
I'm also doing survival as well, and it's just a plus 10.
you're seeing some stuff, nothing super standing out. As you go north, that confluence that kind of breaks off to the northwest, you do see like a pretty open field where the tree line recesses for probably like almost 200-300 feet, like of a pretty like open field. You can kind of see some creatures in there. But as you're kind of heading your way further north,
Well, do we want to go further north, or
Mhm.
we see creatures over here?
it looks like a pack of like elk to the northwest of
So
you.
should we
Don't
slaughter
shoot.
all of
Got
them?
him.
Or
No.
Should
no.
we see if any of them are infected, like the other elk was?
But Jonas, you to the
Oh.
north of you do clock 3 rangers about another 200 or 300 feet hidden, like hiding to the north of you.
Can I tell which direction their focus is on?
To the north of them. So you're behind them, they're looking further north.
That sound you hear is our shareable bag of Skittles gummies
Mhm.
Oh, they're so
passing
good.
around the table.
Hashtag not a sponsor, but we'd take
Yep.
it.
Yeah,
Skittles
yeah,
want
Skittles
us.
sponsor
Yeah.
us.
We don't ask for
That'd
much.
be huge.
Or the
like
nerd
to-
gummy clusters. We'll
Yeah.
take
Just
that.
literally
Clusters.
we
candy.
enjoy tasting the
And
rainbow.
honestly, I just had Jolly Rancher Red's only sour gummies. Really good.
Damn, these are good.
Mhm.
do
real
we
chewy,
want to
though.
keep? Do we want to keep moving and pretend we don't see them to not like ruin their cover?
I can't lie.
Not.
What are you, George Washington?
Yes.
No, that's not what I mean. Like,
I accidentally chopped down one of the protector trees, but I told him about it.
I can never lie.
Yeah, we keep going north, I think.
Gaslighter in chief.
I think maybe do you want to give him a wink and
yeah,
keep
that's
moving?
something like that.
Yeah, give him a wink and then keep moving.
What are you winking at?
The rangers that are hiding.
Oh,
Tree over there.
that we like see them in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're like
They
100
wanna
feet to the
hide
north of
better.
you. You'd have to kind of go up.
Okay.
Okay, so they see
Close
you,
enough for them to see a wink.
and one of them kind of works the way over. This is our territory, our hunt. We wait here for it.
Wait for what?
Kruth, this is its lair. Must be out hunting. We suspect it will return here on sundown.
Yeah.
Do you want some help?
That's why you've been so
No.
successful
We'll
so
give
far.
you
Yeah. We've killed 2
we'll give you
beasts already.
part of the reward.
We do this for the glow. We do this to prove our skill. We do not need your assistance.
But it's a competition, right?
Well, here's the
Exactly.
thing,
What's-
we're not
All right,
skill.
so I'm not going to listen to you, and we're going to do our own thing.
I agree with the horse thing.
Thanks.
I believe it's a
He's a
minotaur,
cow.
but
Mhm.
They're
also
close enough.
Okay.
He's a cold weather cow.
the tolerance in our group is dwindled.
Look, this
Have you guys seen any flowers?
is our area. We staked it out.
Then
first.
tell us where the flowers are, and
Well,
then we'll go that way.
I literally do not care.
Yeah. I mean, we're in a competition, so you can stake out whatever
And
you want.
I know that I'm better than you at this, so.
You have nothing to prove that.
Well, we did kill 2 other big
you know what I can
beasts,
prove? That dibs is for babies and children.
Bro,
This is ridiculous. His voice is starting to raise. Like, this is ridiculous.
I stomped on the Hydra and then skewered it and it died.
That's true. He did do that.
This is absurd.
Can
Leave.
they ask you what you're going to do about it?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's a good question.
Like, you see now one of the other hunters starting to come over. What's going on?
We
What
can
is
just-
going on here?
You guys
We
need to
could
be
just
quiet.
leave.
You're going to give your position away.
look,
You've already done that tromping around.
Yeah.
You are the one that walked over to us. We clearly winked at you. and we're going to keep on moving.
Yeah, you're
and then
wearing
you had
that
to,
bright orange
Yeah.
hunter camo.
Yeah, I would
It's
moon
for
you.
it's for safety.
I would moon you right now, but it would take a lot to get my butt
Mhm.
out of this armor.
Yeah, it's not good hunting armor. You stand out.
It was an oversight, but it keeps me safe.
We
And
are
it's
going
like-
to stand out when we win this thing.
And it's almost like you're right in the middle of this argument when all of a sudden this thing just explodes out of the
Yes.
water
I
like it.
at all of you.
Oh.
See, I told you I was better than you.
Time to roll for initiative.
Mhm.
All right, folks.
oh, wow. Sorry.
Yeah, it's big.
You all just suddenly look at it. It is somewhat fun
Just
when you have
as
a
big as our
large
Minotaur.
Yeah, like, when
Yep.
like it looks bigger when one of your party is also as big as it. What do we got for initiative, folks? Remember, a lot of you were scouting, so it's a +1.
Oh.
And those of you who were doing survival could have rolled survival.
26.
27.
All right.
27.
You
Wow.
go first.
29.
22.
God damn.
That Minotaur's quick.
22.
I rolled a
That bird's
17, so
slow.
that helps.
I know.
You're like,
I was,
"Ah!"
well, no, I was just like panicking at all the. There's so much. Like, why are we fighting with these people? We could have just kept walking north. And so I was just like,
We honestly shouldn't have waved at him
yeah,
or winked.
yeah.
Just goes to show,
Dude,
never
no.
be
I
social.
feel like
It's also like
they left their position.
we can see you.
Yeah, we can see you.
Yeah.
If
and
we
then
can
you
see
made
you.
yourself even more seeable by coming and complaining to us that we
Yeah.
happen to be boating by.
We were walking
Yeah.
and you stopped us.
Yeah.
If we can see you, it can see you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
You're a bad hunter.
Yeah.
the sort of leader of the group, the mini with the green cloak,
Mm-hmm.
sees this thing burst out, and he sort of jumps back, jumps away.
In my mind, that was lucky, and I just forgot.
That's right. We did use that for Lucky for a long time.
Is,
That's true,
Is
that's
the
true.
leader of this group Yamal, or is
No, this is like
Okay.
a
Yamal's on the
party.
boat?
Yeah, he's just chilling.
Oh, okay.
So he sort of
okay.
looks and says, "Find that. Whoever deals the killing blow claims it."
Well, that's
Okay.
Just
All
everybody
right.
delay until it's like almost dead, and then just.
I'm just going to grapple them.
I'm gonna say,
Oh my
like,
God.
hold them back.
you said that, not us.
And so this one up front whips around, pulls out a great axe,
Cool.
and
Okay.
goes to sink it into this. Actually, no. You know what?
Can you turn the music up?
Whoever does the lion's share of the work,
Okay,
whichever
that's-
group, I'm
that's
gonna
fair.
track damage totals. Whichever group does
Ooh.
more damage.
In that case.
Turn the music
Incoming.
up a little,
Oh yeah,
just for my own vibes.
how's that?
Hell yeah.
So this guy whips around with his great axe. Ooh, natty 18 on the die.
Fuck yeah.
And that's going to
Is that
be
a crit?
plus 15. That's 32. That is not a crit.
Oh, that's
Bam!
unfortunate.
32
Sinks
is not a crit.
The axe. You're all high level now.
No,
This
I'm
is
just-
an epic level game,
I'm
right?
just saying.
We're just mathematically trying to narrow it
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, sure. Okay, does 11 points of. So I'm going to write MB up here.
11 points.
Could
From
do
the
that
first
with my
hit.
arrow.
Weak.
Actually, do you mind? I need to retroactively do that, but change one thing. It goes into a rage.
Oh,
The
the creature
hunter?
does?
Yep.
Wait,
No,
the creature
no.
or the hunter?
The hunter goes
Ah.
into a rage first. I forgot they had that. So instead of 11, that's actually 19 points of damage.
Oh.
Is that a barbarian?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sort of looks like it.
Yep.
So rages gets that. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. Cool. So it does that plus 8 points of damage. That's pretty dope. Let's go for second swing, which will be third action. God damn it.
Critical.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah.
He just kills himself. He falls over
Yeah.
dead. And we're like, well, it's one less.
Well,
Someone
all
roll a
right.
d4 or a d6 for me, please.
1.
Okay, perfect. Right here, then, this is a melee fumble. And then drops the axe 1d6 times 5 feet in a random direction.
Oh, into the water. Come
Throw
on.
it
Right in
directly
the
in the
water.
river.
All right, so we're going to use the d10. 10 is on the space 1, and then it's. Oh, God.
It's his buddy.
Okay, so 6 times 5.
30.
It flogs the axe 30 feet to the north.
The north.
Wow.
Yes, would you please just put that d4, Jared, 30 feet to the north where it
Into
just
the water.
slings
Oh, he
that
does
axe.
chuck it into the water.
Actually, I think he. Is that 30 feet?
No, there might be one more. It might be like on the
15, 20,
edge.
2 more.
All right, we're checking. There's a like little cove of the water, so he clears the water trap. He
Onto the
clears the
bank.
water feature.
Oh,
Just
And
barely.
that's his turn.
Wow,
Nikolai
you're bad at this.
rolls his eyes so hard you can hear it.
Yeah, do you need a battle medicine to repair that eye roll you just did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
I
right, now
concussed myself.
now it's the Kroot's turn. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's say
Man,
it
these things
has
are fast.
thing is awesome.
Hmm.
What kind of?
Hey,
I've
you
got
all rolled
reach.
great.
So here's what we're gonna do. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 legal targets. I'm gonna roll a d8. That's who it's attacking.
Question.
Yep,
Since this is the beginning of combat, we don't have reactions. Is that right?
you do.
Okay.
I've always said that you have reactions if you're not surprised. I don't know if that's correct, but that's my house rule.
Okay,
1,
feels right.
2, 3, 4, 5. It's going after the one who just struck it, which seems fair.
Appropriate.
But in order to make it fair to all you, so you don't just like, yeah, let them swing first, tank the hits, and then we'll do it.
Yeah.
I bet Rice knows.
Honestly, we have really good
Let us
listeners.
know, Rice.
Ooh, okay. So this is a casual
Uh-oh.
36 to hit.
Oh,
Ooh, nice.
snap.
He might be dead.
That's a crit.
I'm
That's all right.
not blocking that, though.
Nah.
Okay, so where's
Eh.
where's my second d12?
Sorry, homie.
Okay, so that's all right. Nice and simple. It was not simple.
Technically, all of this math is simple.
Fuck all of you.
We're just that bad at it.
Oh god. And now I lost my marker. Where's my marker? That's right here. So it deals 25 points of damage.
Woo.
And needs to make a fortitude save.
Does him being in a rage affect that at all?
He's not high enough level.
Okay.
And remember, gone is the penalty to AC from raging.
Yeah.
Courtesy
Wow.
of the remaster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To make it better to be a barbarian?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
and also just to bring it more in line with the fiction. Like speaking of Conan and stuff, it's not like Conan's ever easier to hit when he's raging.
Right.
He just
Yeah.
cares a little less when he does get hit. He's
Yeah.
willing to position himself in ways where he might take more. It's not that he's easier to hit.
Yeah.
Nobody
That's
makes
right.
me bleed my own blood.
Yep, it's true.
Where's my poison on this? Damages a creature with the action. Oh shit.
You didn't say that.
Oh, it's a poison tooth ability. Okay, so here's what it does now.
Oh, great.
Second action, it snaps off the tooth that's in it, leaving the tooth behind in this person.
Oh, my.
They are now
Ow.
drained one with
Goodness.
a persistent bleed.
Oh, he's dead. He is for sure dead.
Wow.
Let's go ahead and 1d6
I don't have
per.
anything to save that fool.
I have treat poison, I think.
You do? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably
do we
don't.
do we have healing in this party?
Not for them.
I think
No.
treat poison,
Wow.
though, is like a 10-minute thing, isn't it?
It's a treat condition, but I think I can do it because I have doctor's visitation.
I think you can
nice.
too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And now it also goes to attack the next hunter, the dwarf hunter
Does he-
right to the north.
Does he
Love it.
scream in pain?
Oh, yeah, intensely.
Yeah, okay. We're like,
Are you happy about that, Trent?
no.
Did you
Oh,
say how
sorry.
much damage it did?
That's only like
25.
this only
25, okay.
Oh,
does
no, sorry, crit. 50.
Second.
yeah, I was
Oh,
going to say.
yeah.
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you say
That makes
50?
sense.
It's only
That
for
was a
second.
crit.
Yeah.
It's clumsy, enfeebled, or sickened
So not.
is one of the
Poisoned?
conditions. So
treat,
yeah.
treat poison is a thing. Is
Oh.
an
I'm
action.
not, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have treat poison.
50
You
to
do. It's a,
hit.
medicine, it's a medicine
Oh yeah,
check.
yeah, but
Did you
yeah.
say 50 to hit?
50
yeah, I think
damage.
that's like
No
a
damage.
10-minute.
Because I
50
forgot to
damage.
double
Okay, cool.
it for the crit.
Okay, that's less. I mean, that's
Less concerned.
I'm looking at Jason's
Not
face.
by
He is-
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50 damage to that guy, I'm sure.
But I thought
fucking
it was
hurts.
50 to hit, and I was like, Nikolai runs.
Yeah, that would have been
The
insane.
This-
fuck away.
No, this rolls something else to hit, but it does hit this one to the north. And let's go ahead and do. It's not a crit though.
Plus
which
his
is
HP is reduced because he just got reduced by drained, right?
Yeah.
The guy's
This
dead.
guy's not long for this world.
Sad. Okay, so this is pretty casual. This is just 20 points of damage to the one to the north. The door to the north. All right, that's its whole turn.
Technically, that's the dwarf to the north.
The dwarf to the north. Red,
Yeah.
it's your turn, buddy.
No, dwarf
All right,
to
we're
the
gonna-
north.
Red is like
Attack.
standing right next to it.
Yeah, we're
Yep.
just gonna straight up attack it.
He's straight up to the
You were all up
West?
there chatting
That's
when
the
this
west.
thing popped out.
To
No,
the
west
south.
is this way here. North,
you, west
east,
is this way.
southwest.
I can't see because there's thin mints there.
No, it's actually this that's on top of it. I'll move it. Open
Oh,
up the
okay.
legend.
All right, I rolled a 27 to hit.
I'm so sorry. That is actually a miss.
Oh,
Really?
I was doing a bit for a second, then I looked at the
Goodness.
AC.
I love it. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a miss as he eats a Thin Mint cookie like a dick.
Yeah.
The creature is to the
Support
north,
scouts.
I'm gonna
sort of in the water.
I'm gonna try and grapple him.
I like it. I like it.
Underdog.
Probably not gonna work, but
This will be at map.
no.
Wow.
It's a 3, so it's not gonna do it.
Is it a critical failure though?
14. I don't know what it's.
Yeah, that's a critical failure, I believe.
And then
Mhm.
I think, does
Which
it
means you
grab
fall
So it
prone.
can grab me.
It can
Yeah.
grab you or you
Do
fall
it.
prone. It gets to choose.
Do it.
It's gonna
Ah.
knock you prone.
I don't
Oh,
want you to have that.
Jason's
Oh.
calling a patch in.
Thanks, buddy.
I forget
Hope I
what
roll
joke we
better.
both made that was from.
Oh yeah, that's better.
don't
I got
remember.
more patches.
That is a
You got a lot more patches.
I know.
22.
Okay, not a. Still a crit failure.
Oh my goodness.
A
Still a crit-
22 is a critical failure. Can I have the patch back? So I feel like I was set up.
I love it.
Exactly,
feel
a
like
crit
I-
failure.
Okay.
Wait. Okay. All right.
What
Did
did
you
you
do
roll?
say-
I gave you
no.
another patch for you to roll again.
Wow.
Oh, I rolled a 15 on that. Don't just keep it.
Oh yeah, take the patch back.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
knocks you prone.
Wow.
That's fine.
That's
Your
against
athletics is only 7?
Well,
Map.
it's map.
It's athletics.
Oh, map.
No, it's against fortitude.
Map.
Oh, it's against
It's
fortitude.
fortitude,
But
yeah.
that's probably ridiculous
Yep.
too.
That's got to be at the top. The one.
Well,
then.
it's got to be.
So that's 1,
All right.
2.
I
You
guess
got an
I'll
action
just
left.
stand up.
You want to stand up?
Sure.
Sure. As you stand up, its tail whips
Oh.
out at you.
That's fine.
Well, we got rid of the
Which we
reaction.
also learned, courtesy of one of our group, though, that it is after you finish standing that it
Yep.
hits. It's not against your prone AC.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
so-
true.
All right, here we
Correct.
go. Tail strike.
Whip crack.
Ooh. How do you feel about a 40 to hit?
Oh,
No, that's a crit.
God, my God. Okay,
Wow.
I'm going to liberating step that.
Okay. So that makes it not a crit, right?
I
Can
wish.
you remind me that wolf's name again? So I need to
Glazulin.
Google his name in a minute.
Glazulin, yeah.
Glazulin.
Oh, God. Die on the floor.
James is dying on the floor.
Wow.
All right, folks. Here's what we got. Lovin'. It's what we got. Remember it. That's going to be 38 points of damage.
Reduced by 8, so 30.
30 points of damage.
Oh, I'm fine.
And you can step if you'd like.
Yeah, and you make
That's
a step
true.
if you want.
Oh, yeah. Can I step to the north?
Yeah, you want to kind of get into a flanking position?
Yeah.
Yep, you are now flanking it with the dwarf.
Cool. That's
For
it.
now.
I did nothing.
That's not true. You tanked its reaction.
That's true.
Nikolai. And you now know it has one.
Caught me in a yawn.
At least one.
Is this game not Are you not entertained?
I shall lightly.
Yeah, the one thing that, like, if you remember when you were talking about cruises, that like they're not big, but they are lethally dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
They are killing machines.
Well, if they kill crocodiles,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, they hunt them, right?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I will lightly
Terrifying.
touch Arthur.
Go on.
Some
Oh.
of that
Where?
From behind?
rank 3. Well, technically yes. Protection 3rd level, so it's 10-foot emanation off of you
Cool.
+1.
Plus
Oh,
one to
it's so
AC.
good.
and saving throws.
Oh,
Don't mind
That's
if I
2
do.
actions. And I'll go ahead and sink an arrow in for my last one.
All right. Would potentially, well, yeah, I'm not going to say that.
21 is a miss.
Yep, that is. Sierra Arthur.
Arthur is going to enter Dread Martial stance.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
make that check. Looking for a
Is-
DC 20
Intimidation.
as they say in the biz. And look at this. This is the longest episode we will have produced in quite a while.
That's a 31?
I'm so sorry. That's a hit.
I was like, fuck this.
Well, that's just
We're
Dread
leaving.
Martial stance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a crit success then.
Okay.
Oh, but
Um,
also you do know that a 31 would hit now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's good, though.
I don't think. Yeah, there's no thing for crit
Are you
success
sure? I
on
thought
that.
there was something for crit success
No,
on
there's
that.
just success, failure, crit failure.
Oh, okay.
You do a backflip.
But now everybody
Landing it.
within 10 or 15 feet of me gets
Plus 2
plus 2 on
damage.
damage. And if they critically hit it, which seems unlikely, but it will be
Nat
frightened
20.
1.
Nat 20 can do it.
What's it called? Like the buff. Do you know?
Dread Martial stance.
Dread
Yeah.
Martial stance.
Mhm.
All right, that's action 1. You got 2 more here, Trent.
Yeah, so
You got a sword out. You already said that.
yes, I am just I'm gonna
God, I love this
swing at
game.
it. You know,
Uh-huh.
may as well.
I just got to find the perfect cliffhanger to end this special long episode
Hmm.
on.
Our death.
I mean, it's going to be a second until I get to swing at you again. So maybe one of you will fumble. That'd be a good-
32.
Oh.
That's a hit.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice. You got this, Trent. Oh, everyone's looking. Is it good? It's the damage.
19 slashing,
Okay. And how much fire?
6 fire.
Ooh.
Okay, so that's 25 points of damage.
And
This thing has a lot of health.
it's probably going to be pretty hard to hit it a second time.
Yeah. Don't grapple it.
I will. I'm checking math real quick.
On deck.
I
Jonas.
will lay on hands red.
Ooh, okay.
Step away from you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, true. I won't do that. I will prepare an aid for
Jonas.
JR Junior.
Is,
Specifically to do what, though?
To hit. I'm gonna sort of try to intimidate it, if that makes sense. I've entered this stance, and I want to like.
But I'm, like, what type of Jonas's action? Because one thing that I wanted to do better is saying that, like, because aiding is so powerful, you need to be specific about what outcome you're aiding, not just who you're aiding. So, like, are you aiding an attack roll of some kind from Jonas?
Yeah, I assume he's gonna cast some spell.
Cool.
So I'm gonna try and like distract with an intimidate.
Cool. Love it.
is that Dread Martial Stance's status or circumstance bonus?
Ooh, good question.
This is a good
I'm
question.
creating
Damn,
a
these
little,
cookies are good.
Yeah. Like, just click it.
Jonas, it's your turn while Trent's looking that up.
Jonas is going to, with a single action,
Status
cast Elemental Toss.
Nice. Also, we got Ryan over here just
Roll your
Troop.
aid.
Trooping it.
2 more damage.
Oh, good call.
Is it dead?
Roll your aid.
No. You go ahead and roll the aid here. Trent with intimidation. Ryan over here, who's coming down with the sickness mid-recording
it's
day,
terrible.
and just
That's a
holding up here like a trooper.
19. So that is a that
An
is
aid.
It's a success. Yeah, +1 on the
Yeah.
attack.
+1. Okay, here goes.
You're casting a spell within. Got it.
Do you want
You
a
want
patch?
to re-roll it? I have one. It's just a tweener.
What is it?
That's tough. That's a tough one.
How bad do you want to live?
I have no
It's a
patches.
I have one. I'm gonna
What?
re-roll. I'm gonna
It's
re-roll
a 10.
What's
I'd re-roll
what's that make for a total?
it. 24, 23.
I missed with the 27, so
Yeah.
Crap.
Here's the patch.
All right.
good roll, good roll, good roll. Nope.
I missed.
You want another patch?
And then I'm going to side eye these two guys next to me and say, "You should have stayed hidden." And then burst mist
Ooh.
onto them. It's a 20-foot burst. I want to cover both of them up,
Okay. Done.
and then, but like in a diagonal line between the ranger as well in the back.
And
Sorry,
also,
what was that, Ryan? What was that? Sorry.
I cast mist,
And so you're covering the two
covering
hunters.
the two hunters, and then also obscuring between the guy in the
you're
back.
making it
The
harder
ranger
for them to
that's
hit.
back.
Ah, okay. Cool.
Yep.
But also, you can be like, "I was trying to help you."
Yeah.
Like, stay
Yeah,
alive.
yeah.
You
All
were
right.
getting your shit kicked in in the first round.
Okay. So now we're gonna go. Now it's the hunter in the back with an arrow. Was that a 20% miss chance with obscure?
He's like a
Yeah,
solid
DC 5 flat check.
50 feet away or something.
I'd say
Yeah,
40.
he's got a big ass bow though.
Yeah, I'm just saying for listeners.
Oh yeah, he's about 50, 60 feet to the northwest behind
Not
a big
even that.
fallen over tree. Oh,
It's like 35.
Mhm.
sure.
Mm.
So he's a bit way back, but this composite longbow is gonna come out.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's 30, you got to step back.
You're right. It's
That
a little
is
more
true.
than that, I think.
That is true.
It's 45.
He's going to have to
Perfect.
shoot through the mist. It's going to affect him either way.
Unless his god is helping him.
Here we go.
These guys are godless assholes.
All right, that's not bad. That's a miss, but shoots an arrow. Let's just follow up with some more arrows.
Probably follow a rest
Oh.
like you do.
Man, that would have been a really great roll there. All right, miss. Foom, foom, foom. Now it's the closer one. Closer one's going to rage, swing
Wait,
this great axe.
Closer, there's 2 of them.
The farther back one shot.
Right.
Now the northern, the
dwarf.
dwarf one.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
He's flanking.
he is flanking.
He's flanking.
And concealed.
Does he get the bonuses from your thing? Your Dread Marshal?
Yeah, they're
Yes.
technically allies.
He's within 15 feet. Yeah.
All right, keep. Well,
Right.
that's a miss.
Yeah. 5 for the first diagonal.
Yeesh.
5, 10, 15.
The one in the green cloak gets
Cocked
benefit from
miss.
protection.
2 misses.
This
Oh,
one is
protection.
protection
I see.
benefit.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, they both miss. It's Laku's turn now.
All right. I'm going to start with, I was already pursuing a lead about this, so free devise a stratagem. Let's start with the free recall knowledge.
Yeah. This will be a nature check. A little harder.
Do you want me to roll that, or are you rolling
A
it?
secret check.
Okay. It is 11.
You're not sure. You have like a little bit you remember before, and you've seen these things come out. You know they're called crocodile hunters, but you've got nothing.
Fuck. I was hoping to learn
Steve,
something about
is
the
that
poison. Okay, I'm gonna see what my devise a stratagem roll is gonna be.
This guy in the green cloak is just like, there's a fucking tooth in me. I can't
I'm
see
gonna
anything.
patch it.
We're patching this. That's a good potential time to patch.
Yeah.
All right.
Indeed.
What we
Okay,
got?
that's a lot better. I'm gonna go ahead and take a shot with my crossbow
Okay.
at it
Ooh, yeah.
for a 29 to hit.
That's a hit.
I feel like
Good.
that was really close.
Yeah.
Better be.
Shit cover?
With shit cover, it's still a hit.
Okay.
Oh, so it's also big enough that she can
that's
shoot
true.
at the
Yeah.
the unshit covered part of it. Benefits to fighting big creatures.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, now you get to roll all them dice.
Yeah.
And you know what? Let's roll those dice
Yeah.
next episode.
That was a good Cliffy.
The Live to Die podcast is a production of Live to Die Gaming. Follow us on social media at Live to Die Pod. Want to support us? Check us out at patreon.com/live to die pod. Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for more.